Methods of irrigation. In this module, you will learn about different methods of irrigation. Water is essential for the germination and growth of crop plants. Water is supplied to agricultural fields either naturally through rainfall or artificially through canals or other systems. The artificial supply of water to agricultural fields is called irrigation. Irrigation can be done using different methods. Before learning about these methods, let us find out how irrigation is important for crop production. In the absence of rainfall, irrigation maintains the minimum amount of moisture required for crop production. It maintains proper growth of crops and helps to protect them against frost and hot air currents. The duration, time gap and amount of irrigation are determined by the type of soil and crop and also the season in which a crop is sown. A mowed system is one of the simplest and cheapest irrigation systems. In this, water is drawn from a well or water source by a bucket attached to a rope. The rope is passed over a pulley and fixed to an animal. The animal walks down an earthen slope away from the well to lift water. The water is then emptied into a channel and the fields are irrigated. As the wheel turns with the help of a shaft and handle, the buckets dip into the pool and draw water. The chain then lifts the buckets to the upper wheel, where they are tipped and dumped into an upper pool. The chain then carries the empty buckets down to be refilled. The water in the pool is then released by gates into channels, which act as artificial streams to water the crops. During irrigation, the rope tied to the bucket is pulled down so that the bucket goes into the water source and fills up with water. The bucket is again drawn up by pulling up the rope. The water is then collected manually and poured into the channels. Rahat's system of irrigation involves two wheels, one placed vertically over a water source, typically an open well, and the other placed horizontally at a distance. A belt of buckets is fixed to the first wheel and an ox, buffalo or camel is tied to the other wheel. As the animal pulls the wheel around in a circular motion, it sets in motion the first wheel with the buckets, which draw water from the water source, and irrigate the fields. The traditional methods of irrigation are cost-effective but time-consuming. Thus, these methods have been replaced with drip system and sprinkler system. Let us learn about these two methods in detail. A sprinkler system is used in arid and uneven regions as an alternative method of irrigation. This system employs many perpendicular pipes with rotating nozzles at the top, installed at regular intervals. The pipes are placed on the field and are connected to the main pipelines that emerge from the main water storage tank. In a drip irrigation system, Water is delivered at or near the root zone of crops drop by drop. A drip irrigation system is the most efficient system of irrigation as there is absolutely no wastage of water. This system is mostly used in areas with poor water availability. Both the modern systems of irrigation are costly but require less labor and time. In this module you have learned: irrigation is the artificial method of supplying water to crop fields to assist crop production. A motor pulley system, a chain pump system, Dhekli and Rahat are traditional methods of irrigation. They are cost-effective but time-consuming. A sprinkler system and a drip system are modern methods of irrigation. They are costly but require less labor and time.
Crop protection. Do you know, still the production of crop has many other obstacles to be taken care? Some of them are weeds, insects, and plant diseases. Now, let us learn to find some more details about them. Weeds. Did you ever visit a crop in villages? Then you might observe along with plants in the field, you can find some other plants with them. Those plants are called as weeds. Do you know how the weeds affect the plants? The weeds affect the water supply, nutrients, sunshine, etc., which are available to the plants. Hence, the field should be weeded at regular intervals. Insects and plant diseases. Apart from weeds, plants are also affected by insects. But there are also some insects which eat the stems of the plants, nibble the leaves, and destroy the roots, thus affect the production of crop. Other than insects, some of the microorganisms also destroy the crops. Even though some of the microorganisms help in the supply of nitrogen to the plants, but some others destroy the crops. We can't see the microorganisms on the plants, but we can find how it causes destruction to the plants. Microorganisms causes shriveling and discoloration of leaves, rusting of stems and leaves, fungal growths, etc. Hence, to protect the crops, farmers apply insecticides, fungicides, and chemicals, etc. to the crop. But even though those insecticides, chemicals, etc. are helpful to the crop from pests, they're also being harmful to the health of the human beings. Let us find how. When chemicals are sprayed to the plants, most of them remain in the soil and find their way into the water sources, which are harmful to the human health. When the farmers spray chemicals to the field, they're also getting exposed to them, inhale them, and thus it enters into the human body. Alternative measures are introduced to prevent such complications. For example, natural pest controlling methods. Along with harmful insects, we can also find some eco-friendly insects which help to protect the crop from these harmful insects. For example, spiders, dragonfly, ladybird beetle, mirids, etc. These insects eat worms like jacids, thrips, and stem borers, etc. Some bacteria like Trichoderma bacterium, Bacillus, thuringiensis destroy some of the pests in the egg stage itself. Mixed crops also can control some of the pests and insect diseases. Cultivation of black gram or groundnut after paddy crop prevents Tungrovirus on paddy. After cotton, cultivation of maize and gingerly prevents the gram caterpillar. After red gram, cultivation of maize and corn prevents spotted bollworm and dried diseases. Thus, with introducing natural control methods, both improvement in food production and sustaining soil health and environmental protection can be achieved.
Weeding. Weeding means removal of unwanted plants, weeds, from the field. It is done by hand using trowel or with a harrow. Though weedicides have also been developed to be sprayed on the crop, yet their use needs extra care as it pollutes the atmosphere. Examples of weedicide are 2,4-D dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, metachlor, MCPA, 2-methyl, 4-chlorophenoxyacetic acid and butachlor. Weeds can also be controlled by biological methods. Example, cochineal insects for eradicating the weed Opuntia.